Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my Author's Answer video for April 2023. The Author's Answer series was brought to AuthorTube by J.D. Archer. He started this series on his blog with his writing group and then ultimately brought it to YouTube. So I'll link to his playlist down below and also his blog and also my AuthorTube playlist. But anyway, the point of this exercise is that he posed his group a series of reading or writing related questions, going once per week, I think it was back in the day. And I've been answering these questions once per month for the past several years on AuthorTube. Yeah, I am up to question number 73, and this is a really interesting one. Back in the day when JD posed this question, I believe he was going on a cross-continental trip to Japan to live. And so I guess he was probably pretty involved with that and decided to parlay it into his question for the week. And he made it basically into a writing exercise to ask how a character in one of your projects would describe a trip to Japan. I think specifically focusing on a 9-hour flight. So anyway, this is actually pretty exciting. This is a first for Author's Answer where we're actually asked to do a writing exercise. It's quite daunting, exciting in a way. Like mostly we're talking about our reading or our writing, but now it's like we have to bring our chops to the table and say, okay, like who are you as a writer? Let's show me what you got. Very directly. So yeah, this is exciting and daunting, I guess, to put yourself forward like this. And I decided to go with a character from a short story that I wrote earlier this year. Technically, I reworked earlier this year and first wrote last year. But anyway, it's a post-apocalyptic story, but it's like told very much inspired by and in the style of Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, so it's not about high-octane zombie sort of stuff, but it's more about ruminations on art and on life and reality, so I felt like that fit perfectly in a way to talk about what air flight used to be in an age where that sort of technology doesn't exist anymore. So yeah. I also treated this very much like an amateur, quickie sort of exercise, like the ones I used to take part in when I was part of like writing summer workshops or that sort of thing as a kid, because this does seem like the sort of prompt they might, set us and we'd have like, half an hour or less to, write something out and then share it. So this is my defensive way of saying this is pretty unpolished and all of that stuff. I just sort of wrote it like quickly on a whim. Here I go, sharing my writing on AuthorTube. Mary remembered her last airplane ride in fleeting details like an advertisement for the past. A soothing, assured voice, mic'd from the head of the gate. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would line up in an orderly fashion, we are now seating Group A. A machine dinging to the same tone as it scanned her ticket. A short walk down a sunlit gateway, a smiling flight attendant in crisp attire, dodging other passengers who clogged the aisles while shoving their carry-ons into the overhead bins. Flying had made Mary nervous, an incongruous thought to her now. She sat in her chair, her heart hammering, until the plane thrust itself into the air like a ship breaking anchor. When the flight attendant came by for drink orders, she went with alcohol. Now she can't imagine being so far off the ground. She didn't look down then, during that distant plane ride. She'd been too nervous. She could kick herself for it now, with her gravity-bound feet. What would it have been like to look down, especially at night? To see the cars spiraling down highways, the artificial lights and buildings flickering on. Mary's last plane ride had been regional, small, work-related. She'd counted it as a blessing then. Now she wishes she'd gone somewhere further, somewhere near the edge of the map, at least from her perspective, situated in a former American state that was now as remote from the rest of the world as it had been pre-Columbus. Somewhere like Japan, Tokyo with its shining neon lights. What had happened to those lights, those blinking, playful contrivances she remembers from TV? a fast-paced culture of modern invention. Were there still people living in the ruins, their imaginations reaching out to her in turn? Would they ever see each other again? And scene! Oh boy, alright, I was actually even editing it as I would have long reading, so there we have it. I mean, I guess that's a thing with writers, you know, the editing and tweaking is never fully done, but that's what I have for you now, and I hope you enjoyed it. And that about covers it for me now. Again, I'll link to Author's Answer playlists and information down below. And I will be back to reading related content very imminently tomorrow for my Friday Reads on a Saturday reading recap. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Keep writing, and I'll see you next time.